And you're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Red Devils. On a Friday afternoon, Erik Ten Hag has officially just addressed the media ahead of their match against Brentford tomorrow afternoon, where he has issued updates on Mazraoui, Luke Shaw, Till Malacia, Harry Maguire, as well as Man Udt, as well as speaking a little bit about the pressure, what's going wrong, and a bit of a dig at one of the journalists regarding his time at Manchester United. So lots to get through. Obviously, not the full press conference, be able to get more quotes from him with the full conference available tonight. But we've got a good 10 minutes to work with. And we'll start with some injury news. So the good news for Manchester United is that in this press conference, Erik Ten Hag has confirmed that Mazraoui is fit and available for tomorrow and will face Brentford at this stage. Confirmed that Harry Maguire, Man Udt out for several weeks, which we kind of knew already, as well as no Till Malacia or Luke Shaw just yet. He spoke about them saying that, they're getting back, but he says they can't put pressure on them, basically, that they need to allow them to come back in their own time and make sure that they are fully fit before they do return, but has confirmed that Mazraoui at least is available after his illness, will be available tomorrow. So we expect to probably see Dalot at left back, Mazraoui at right back, as has been the norm. So very good news, given the fact that at the beginning of this week we kind of thought we were in a bit of a left back crisis. Not that we are through a crisis, but Mazraoui is fit and will start. Well, I imagine will start, but he's fully fit and ready to go, which is the main thing. Very good news, that, to be honest, because I think that was probably the big selection query. He also spoke about, in terms of selection, he spoke about a few things. One of the things that he spoke about was Christian Eriksen. Was asked about Christian Eriksen and how, he was supposed to be sort of winding down in his career, and instead he's become such an important part. And he basically spoke about, the form, for example. I think he also spoke about injuries and the fact that Christian Eriksen's become a very important player, the way that he's nurturing Mania as well, very important from that perspective. And I think he's right, to be honest. I think one of Christian Eriksen's main sort of assets at the moment is the guiding that he can give to the likes of a Mania. But more so than that, he's actually become quite a key part of the team, and very, very interesting to see how much more he continues to play, because he's become so important to United. And but Erik Ten Hag was in a pretty good mood, to be honest, looking at the entire press conference. He apparently, when he arrived, he said, "Good afternoon, all. I've missed you all so much." So, in a very good mood, which is good to see. He spoke a little bit about Thomas Tuchel, saying that I think it's a very good choice from the FA. He's a top-class manager. He's proved himself. So I was asked about that, and then he was asked about where the squad is. I think this is the main thing we kind of want to get out of it, is understanding where's the squad, what's the sort of mentality. And he spoke about the fact that they're very calm, apparently, that they're very much understand that the results aren't good, but he said that they are, and I quote, he said they are quiet, they are composed, they need to stick to the plan, they need to just keep grafting, basically, keep going out. Interestingly enough, he spoke about, and he was then asked about the form, and the Benny McCarthy interview, speaking about the fact that Benny McCarthy said that the issue was your players would train well, but then wouldn't be able to put it together on the day. And he actually had to go. And I want to say it was Alan Stone who asked the question. Correct me if I'm wrong. But first thing he said, well, we won a trophy last season. Maybe you forgot. So came out with a little bit of a sting to say, don't forget that we did win a trophy, and that we did, and that the team hasn't been playing as badly as probably I think people are suggesting. But so kind of dodged the question, and I think it's a fair question, to be honest. Benny McCarthy said that players looked really good at training and then got to a match and struggled. And he said, is that a pressure thing? And Ten Hag saying it's very much not a pressure thing, because they won a trophy and they won things. But the main thing that he really focused in about is the goal scoring issue. And he said, he spoke about the injuries, he spoke about goals. So when he spoke about last season, he said the following. He said, I think the players do well. We won last season. Maybe you forgot. When we face problems, sometimes we have to line up teams who are not in the right balance because players aren't available. So talking about the injuries there. But I think in general, the players do perform well. We have to start scoring now, which is the most important part of football. We have to improve on that part. And he basically said, if you don't score goals, you don't win matches. Now, he's not wrong about that. It's not groundbreaking analysis, but he's not wrong about that. It is probably one of the main issues with this current United side, the fact that we're creating chances. And he's mentioned it before. I mean, the fact that we've got a manager that's brought in a expected goals stat into, press conferences is mental. But he's not wrong. We do create chances. We are getting into the box. We're just not finishing them. And look, that in itself is no excuse, because why aren't we finishing them, for example? Why aren't we scoring more goals? Is that a coaching issue? But I think he's quite right in saying that we've got to score the goals, and that's not new information. We do have to score the goals, and we do have to make sure we get these right. So, yeah, not too much else in the press conference itself. He spoke about the fact that Harry and Manu are out for a couple of weeks. I don't know if that was literally a couple of weeks in terms of 2 weeks and they're back, or whether it's, we sort of got the impression it's more kind of a month out, but said that Mazraoui is good news. He returned the pen, pitch is available tomorrow. And he also then took an aim at the journalists. So this is something I want to speak about in particular. So Erik Ten Hag actually went after some of the journalists, saying, in terms of the noise, saying, no, the noise is only coming from the media, from some of you, not all of you, creating stories and fairy tales, bringing lies, because I know we're on one page within this club. I said before the break, but several journalists probably didn't believe me. Within the club, it's quiet. And that's when he went on to talk about the fact that it's quiet, it's composed. So the problem is, we've seen this before, haven't we? We're now back in a situation where Manchester United manager is having to go against the media, under pressure. He's kind of in a corner, fighting for his job. And we've seen this all before. Look, he's right to a certain degree. Certain journalists are going to be far more critical of him than others, and they're going to try and create sort of ideas that there's discontent within the club. He's always going to come out and say, no, there's not, that we're quiet, we're composed, we're ready to go. And the truth often lies somewhere in between. There's no doubt there's pressure on him, but I do think does sound like he's not going to go down without a fight, which is the main thing, which can end badly, but sort of time will tell. Whether it's a good thing or not, I think, he's a manager fighting for his job in his dream job. It's his dream team to manage, and it is a mountain. In his own words, he said, we have to climb a mountain, but that's top football. Sometimes you have to face challenges, but I'm sure we will make a success, just like we did in the last 2 seasons. I see the good things, good patterns, and the good stats that confirms we're in a good direction, but the ranking doesn't lie, and where we are isn't good enough. And that's the main thing. It doesn't matter how many goals expected you're creating, and how many chances. You're 14th on the Premier League table, mate. You're I think almost close to the relegation zone than you are to first. If we look at the table, we're sitting at 14th, relegation with 8 points. Relegation is at 3. We're 5 points off relegation, 10 points off the league. So that's not good enough from a United perspective. It doesn't matter how you try and jazz it up. It doesn't matter all the different things you're doing well. At the end of the day, you're sitting as Manchester United with 2 wins from 7 games and 3 losses. 2 wins, 2 losses, 2 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses. Unacceptable for any United manager, any United team. And until that starts changing, the pressure's going to start growing. So he's got to go out and get plenty of points very quickly and try and get up that Premier League table, because the media have already kind of turned against him. Within the club, apparently it's fine, but how long will that last? Peace doesn't last very long, and why should it in this kind of situation? And he's got to come good this weekend, and no excuses. You can't keep bringing injuries as excuses. And he spoke about the fact that injuries are a problem. We've got to look at it, and that's I think what a lot of people are saying. Well, mate, why are injuries a problem? You are the coach and manager. Are you not managing and coaching these players correctly? What's happening with the fitness coach? Why are these players breaking down so consistently? Why does United have one of the highest injury lists in the Premier League over the last 12 months? Why is this happening? It's not good enough just to say, we've been unlucky. Luck gets you, maybe one season or maybe one period, but it's been a thing. During his tenure, there have been lots of injuries. And until you get that right, the finger's going to be pointing at you and your coaching staff, and you've got to try and understand why. And we got to almost say people why it's happening. Even if you have to sit there and say, well, these are, impact injuries are impact injuries. Somebody goes into a tackle, you can't control that. Like the Luke Shaw leg break years and years ago, you can't control that. Muscle injuries, that is often a sign of fatigue or not being prepared or being unfit. And that's probably the worry, the amount of muscle injuries, but also how several players, their sort of progress back to being available keeps sort of getting set back. A player like Till Malassi, who's not playing over a calendar year, I think, or something stupid. why has it taken him so long to come back? What is possibly going on that's taking him so long to get back? Luke Shaw, for example, consistently being pushed down the line. And why do players who get injured always take so long to get back to full fitness? That is the big problem as well. So he needs to address a lot of those. So in general, felt that he was in a really good mood. I think he took a couple of shots, but he never sort of comes across as too no more broody than usual. Is Erik Ten Hag. He's not the most animated manager of all time. But yeah, well, let me know what you think of some of the responses and some of the quotes down in the comments below. Please do smash the like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. And our official preview will be out tonight, so we'll see you guys all then. But until then, stay safe, and we'll see you guys.